Welcome to the Nightmare Realm. I am Merciless Ghosty. Today we're going to be breaking down the recently released Zach Cregger Resident Evil trailer that is scheduled to come out. The movie is scheduled to come out in September 18th of this year. So just a little bit of background. I am a huge Resident Evil fan. I have been since the early days, since Resident Evil 1 on the PS1. I played through most of the games. I won't say that I played through all of them. I went through a stretch through the Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 era where I kind of fell out of love with the series for a little bit, which is kind of crazy considering the zombie boom that was happening during that time, but that's another video for another day. So I wanted to wait a little bit before I put this video out just because the discourse online around this movie has been a little sensitive, to put it mildly, but we're gonna watch the trailer. I'm gonna break it down and give you what my take and a little semi-analysis on it. But let's go ahead and let's get this trailer reaction started.
Hello? I had a little bit of a problem on the road. I was wondering if I could use your phone. Hello?
Yes, we're sorry.
Banger movie. Another banger movie.
Hey babe, look, I'm really sorry that we got disconnected earlier, but some things have happened. I'm in like a seriously messed up situation right now. And it looks like there's a chance that we might not get to talk to each other again. I just wanted you to know. I love you.
So there we have it. What is my takeaway? I have seen that trailer before, but I wanted to give it a fresh watch so I can watch it with y'all and also give a fresh perspective because it's been a few days since I watched it. But what are my overall thoughts? The discourse online for this movie is it looks amazing. It's not a one-to-one direct beat for beat shot for shot of any of the games, so therefore it sucks. It's trash. What do I think? I think the trailer looks really good personally. Is there a little bit of disappointment that there's no like direct tie into the game? Sure. I will say that, sure, I can understand that disappointment, but at the same time, I am also of the mindset handcuffing a creator and a movie director and a creator like Zach Cregger to something that has already been done and something that has already been established, like Resident Evil, and have him trying to play in that sandbox and recreate characters that have already been done, is a disservice to him. I love the fact that they're letting him give his own fresh take on Resident Evil. Personally, that's just me personally. I understand that some fans are frustrated that it's not a one-to-one comparison for that it's not a one-to-one beat for beat shot of any of the games. I get it, but at the same time, I hope you guys understand that Resident Evil, the movie franchise, like not including Welcome to Raccoon City because that movie didn't do very well financially or critically, but the Paul W.S. Anderson movies actually sold really well. And it's actually one of the more popular horror franchises, like in terms of like financial gain that has ever existed. It's outperformed It, for fuck's sake, which is what do I need to say? The modern day It movies are monsters. They're monsters. The Paul W.S. Anderson movies aren't great. The first two were okay. I could take them or leave them, depending on my mood. I could throw them in and watch them, but other than that, they're kind of besides that, they're terrible. But let's go back to the trailer. I'm gonna turn the sound off. Okay, so we look him going through these cabinets like this. I don't know, man. That looks a lot like scouring for inventory. He finds a shotgun. All of this looks very Resident Evil to me. You got a key off a dead body. Sewers. It's an iconic Resident Evil location, especially for RE2. I don't know who this monster is, but it's definitely unsettling. I can't wait to see more. This one's a beast. But let's go back to the sewer shot real quick, because there's something that I want to point out. Look at that. I know it's kind of hard to tell. You can't really see, but you can see where my mouse is right here. This is like very framed over the shoulder. This is the very third person camera work. Shout out to Zach Cregger. This is like straight out of the games, like straight out of the modern day Resident Evil games. There's also been talk that there's going to be fixed camera angles and things like that, but there's a couple third person shots like that throughout this trailer. We go here. Third person, it's a little further back, but still got that very, very same over the shoulder feel. Same thing with this shot coming up right here. Boom. Third person, very third person behind the shoulder. It's a little further back, but needless to say, for this shot where everything's kind of falling down at once, they kind of had to fall back. But I think this looks like Resident Evil. I know it's not a direct beat for beat shot of the original, but I do feel like we get enough there to capture the Resident Evil experience. And I feel like it's okay for an original story to take place in this universe. If you look through the history of the Resident Evil games, just the games alone, not even the movies, but the games very much don't play in their own sandbox. Like, we go from Resident Evil 1 with the STARS team in the mansion directly to Resident Evil 2. We get introduced to a whole new slew of characters that we've never met before. There's nobody in the first game there. There's references to them. None of the original characters are there. And look at Resident Evil 2 is great. We all love RE2. We love the RPD setting, Leon and Claire. We love the side characters, Sherry, Ada, the monsters, Mr. X, Birkin. Like the liquors are new. Like, they pretty much, like, it's basically a whole new game compared to the first one, but it captures the same DNA with the isolated location, the big building, with the RPD and the mansion. So I feel like for Resident Evil, it's a franchise that kind of goes off in different directions all the time. It has since the beginning, and I feel like it's okay for an original story to take place in this universe. So real quick, I just want to give you some quick little reasons why I'm optimistic for the outcome of this movie. Is because, number one, the trailer looks awesome. The trailer looks amazing. I'm sorry, I think it looks dope. I know a lot of people online are saying that it looks like a generic horror movie. I am not of that mindset. I don't think it looks like a generic horror movie. I think it captures the DNA of Resident Evil very well. And onto that, to piggyback off that, Zach Cregger is one of my favorite working horror directors today. I love Barbarian, and I love the weapons even more. And now we're giving him, fix my mic a little bit. Now we're giving him a Resident Evil movie, which undoubtedly is going to have a bigger budget, a bigger budget, a big horror license for him to play with. So I think he's gonna do just fine. And the main thing I'm excited for with this too is it could create a whole new slew of Resident Evil movies. Just like you look at what Resident Evil 7 did for the RE franchise and the gaming. RE7 was very different from everything that we got before. But RE7 rebooted the franchise. It saved the franchise. Resident Evil was on a bit of a downward slope from 5 and 6. I know 5 did well financially, but it was a very mixed bag in terms of like people's enjoyment of it. But 6 did not do very well, and it wasn't very well received, and it took them a long time to get the series up and going again. But they did, and Resident Evil 7 was the reason behind it. And you look at it, kind of similar to this. It's very, very horror. It's very deep rooted in horror.
Stay out of here!
Gotten like a flat out, just straight action Resident Evil game since RE7. There have been some action. There's like Village, the Requiem, parts of Village have all had their little action sequences and some flavor of action, but we've never just gotten a straight action Resident Evil horror game like we got in the early 2010s, and that is because of RE7. And I feel like this movie could do the same thing for the movies. We could get a new slew of Resident Evil movies that are deeply rooted in horror, and from that we could get a more direct adaptation of the Resident Evil games. But on the flip side of that, there's also reasons for concern. There is reasons for a big reason for concern, and that mainly is the history of Resident Evil movies and a god-awful Netflix series that I don't even want to talk about. I watched it once. I would like to put it out of my mind and forget it ever existed. But Resident Evil, a lot of these movies, from the Paul W.S. Anderson movies and up to Welcome to Raccoon City, not only not been faithful adaptations to the game, but they have been some of them are just downright terrible. The movies are trash. I'm sorry to say, I don't like to be that blunt and negative, but some of those movies are trash. I haven't seen much past part 3 in terms of like the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. I did not like part 3 at all, and that was enough for me. But I've seen the discourse online, but that is a reason for concern. But I feel like there's way more. I'm willing to take this one more chance because of who's behind it to give this I'm willing to give Resident Evil the movie one more chance because of who's behind it, because of Zach Cregger. I believe in his vision. I believe in him as a director, and I think we're gonna have to wait and see. September 18th, go see Resident Evil. That's the main thing I want to. That's the main thing I want to say before we wrap this up. If you want a Resident Evil faithful adaptation, you have to go see the movie. You have to. At the end of the day, Hollywood is a business, and if this movie doesn't do well, they're not going to make more Resident Evil movies. And if they do, it'll be a long time before we get it. It'll be a long time before we get it. So if you want to see more Resident Evil movies, go see the movie. If you didn't like, but give constructive feedback. If you didn't like the movie, or you're not excited for the movie, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why without being toxic and bashing the people that are excited. And that goes the same for the people that are excited. If you're excited, ask yourself why and express it in a way that isn't toxic and bashing the other people that are not looking forward to this, because it's not a direct adaptation. I am personally leaning in the side of I'm excited. I can't wait to go see this. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, don't wander too far, because this ghostie always remembers who entered the realm. I will see you guys next time.